voice of change is here. In the heart of Sierra Leone a beacon shines. The First Lady stands, her spirit intertwines with the pulse of the land, and the rhythm of the shores. Please subscribe to the channel. It is free. Thank you. Let us continue. Fatima Maada Bayo's voice echoes through mountains and moors. Bold and brave, her vision is clear. Her passion for her country, and Africa, draws everyone near. She is unapologetic her words, she is a straight-talker matriarch, in her powerful stance. During her engagement with the Harvard University Center for African Studies, the First Lady discussed several critical issues. She speaks of freedom, her message rings true, not just for the audience, but for me and you. The wind of change is gaining momentum as it roars, bringing hope to the future, and opening doors for the Africans who have been shut out. To foreign entities, her declaration is clear, and there is no room for misunderstanding. There is no room for fear. A call for leaders, tenfold her might, to rise in Africa, and lead towards the light. She is asking for a total change. Africa must be allowed to take care of all her resources without any conditions attached. Please take a listen to her powerful engagement.
They should not allow another person to give them a prescription of how Africa should look like or what we need in our Africa, because we know what we need in our Africa.
During an interview with the Harvard University Center for African Studies, the First Lady of Sierra Leone, Fatima Maada Bayo, shared some shocking and secretive insights on the topics of mineral exploitation versus development in Africa. How African heads of state who stand up for their people often become hot targets for destruction by the West, the shocking way the United Nations sees Africa, and much more. This extract from her speech will not only uplift your inner African spirit, but also give you hope for the complete liberation of our mother continent.
The kind of mineral resources we have in our country is enough to take care of everybody in that country. We should not have a single poor person in Sierra Leone. But unfortunately, we are not given the free will to make decisions on our own mineral resources. There's always Big Brother who decides. And when you fight and say, no, we are not going to do this, they use the system to stop you. It's either they set you up with the opposition and they will be supporting the opposition against you from the back, or they cause unnecessary chaos in your country so that you are not able to even govern your own people. They will do things to make you not to be functionable. And of course, any country that don't have peace cannot develop. You have to have peace before you talk about development. I'll give you a simple example about Sierra Leone. Every mining company that is in Sierra Leone today is owned by a foreigner. Every mining company. If it's not the Chinese, it's the American, it's the British. Our electricity, Bumuda, is run by the British, and we still don't have light. We're looking for light, electricity. If you don't have electricity, how can you talk about education? How can you talk about health facility? How can you talk about improving the infrastructure of your country? We don't have electricity. Now, do we actually even have proper water? Pipe-borne water, so that our kids will not be sick. We don't have those facilities. Why? With all the minerals we have, there is a cap you put. Before my husband became the president of Sierra Leone was benefiting, they said, what's the word? 0.000.1%. What is that? Basically, a company can take as much as $100 million out of the country in terms of minerals, and then they can just give the country $10,000. Now, what will $10,000 do for our health system? What does $10,000 do for our educational system? You cannot be coming to our country and take everything that will make us develop, and then you still treat us as inferior people, as if we don't know what we're doing. I think that is wrong. And these are the things I believe that are stopping Africa from progressing. We don't have a say. The sense about us celebrating independence, I don't know why we celebrate independence, because we are not free. That is my own take. I'm not speaking also on behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, nor am I speaking on behalf of His Excellency the President. I am speaking as Fatima, as a citizen of a country who believes that things need to change. In Africa, you should not have a leader that is assertive, a leader that knows what his people want, a leader that wants to change what is happening. The moment you have that, it's everyone's target. And then they find reason to slow you down, they find reason to stop you, and they use that system of corruption. They use corrupt people, they use negative people, they use unpatriotic citizens to come after a government who is doing what is right for a system. I think we need to address those issues. Unfortunately, I don't know I'm very good at name calling, but at the moment, I don't know who I should be screaming at. One of the most serious issues I have with the United Nations is the fact that Africa is not part of the Security Council. We're talking about 54 countries, I'm sorry. 54 countries, a whole continent does not have one person representing Africa when it comes to decision making at the Security Council.
And I'd observe also that no African country has its own executive director at the World Bank either.
No, unfortunately,
yes.
We don't know how to manage money.
I think I'll have to disagree with you.
What do you want me to say? Because if that is the perception since the beginning of, every time an African come forward for something that they have to be a decision maker for the world, not just Africa. It's just not possible.
I understand.
So what can I say? There must be a prescription somewhere that says, Africa, you are not good enough.
Well, it might be revolutionary, but I'm going to say it right here. Africans should be in charge of Africa.
I believe that also that Africans' issue can only be enhanced when Africans decide to do that. They should not allow another person to give them a prescription of how Africa should look like or what we need in our Africa, because we know what we need in our Africa. No one will know that better than us. And I think the UN should see Africa as partners. And the United Nations, definitely, you cannot have 7-country vetoing everything. When it comes to Africa issue, it is those 7 countries. Who are the countries that are actually exploiting Africa? They're the ones who have the veto power to make decision on anything that has to do with Africa. So for me, I think that is wrong. And that is one thing the president of Sierra Leone has campaigned for. And this year, Sierra Leone is now a non-permanent member at the United Nations. But yet still, we don't have a veto power. But we're there. At least we are getting closer. And in these 2 years, our mission is to get the United Nations to see Africa not as one country. Because that's the mistake they do. When you say I'm from Africa, they say, oh, you're from Nigeria. I said, no, Nigeria is one country in Africa. We have 54 countries in Africa. So see us as a continent that also, what we offer to the world, Europe does not have it. What Africa gives to the world, Europe don't have it, America don't have it, Asia don't have it. Because we are not mining in China, we are not doing any mining in America or mining in Europe. But they're doing it in every part of Africa. Not just Sierra Leone, go to Democratic Republic of Congo, go to Botswana, go to Angola, go everywhere there is mineral resources. It is the West and the Chinese who are there. When you come to Africa, ask me what is it that I want. If you ask me what food do you want to eat, I'll tell you I want to eat rice. But then if you come to Africa and bring me spaghetti and said I want you to eat spaghetti, that you're imposing on me. With everything that we have in Africa, for all the people or all the organizations or all the companies that are coming to take from us, for once, see us as partners. For once, treat us with respect. And then help us develop. Because when we're developed, doesn't mean you will not do your mining. It just means you'll be changing lives and changing lives in a positive way. So by depriving us that development, by depriving us that opportunity for us to be able to be self-sufficient, for me that is what is wrong. And that is why I am not able to stay silent.
There you have it. In her speech at Harvard, she mentioned several examples of exploitation in Africa. There is no denying Africa has been treated unfairly by foreign companies. Especially in countries where leaders are quickly manipulated, and bribes are on the table. Mineral exploitation is the source of African poverty. She discussed the issues surrounding mineral exploration versus development, highlighting how foreign entities often exploit African mineral resources without adequate investment in the continent's development. Targeting African leaders. She pointed out that African heads of state who advocate for their people's well-being can become targets for Western countries, implying a form of political exploitation. United Nations perspective. The First Lady expressed her concerns about the United Nations' views on Africa, suggesting that there may be exploitative aspects in how international organizations engage with the continent. These examples from her speech illustrate the complex challenges Africa faces regarding foreign influence, and the need for a transformative approach to ensure equitable development. Addressing the challenges of exploitation in Africa requires a multifaceted approach, involving both local and international efforts. For instance, 1. Implementing smart industrial policies. African governments can work on fostering local value addition, developing regional value chains, and promoting resource-driven industrialization. 2. Strengthening legal frameworks. Ratifying and enforcing international conventions on forced labor, human trafficking, and child labor can help protect vulnerable populations. 3. Empowering youth and children. Engaging and empowering the younger generation is crucial for sustainable development and addressing exploitation. 4. Promoting inclusive development. Addressing the root causes of conflicts and exploitation through inclusive development policies can lead to durable peace and stability. 5. Enhancing public service provision. Developing active development policies that can ensure effective provision of public services across territories can help combat the emergence of non-state actors and terrorism. 6. Fostering international cooperation. Supporting African solutions to African problems through greater international cooperation can help address the continent's challenges. 7. Addressing social norms. Interventions to change harmful social norms and behaviors, along with continuous data and evidence generation, can contribute to ending violence against women and girls. 8. Building resilient systems. Strengthening health, food, education, and national planning systems can provide long-term solutions to the continent's challenges. These strategies aim to create a more equitable and sustainable futures for Africa, where exploitation is minimized and the well-being of its people is prioritized. Individuals too can play a significant role in addressing the challenges of exploitation in Africa through various means. 1. Educate yourself and others about the issues. Awareness is the first step towards change. 2. Understanding the complexities of exploitation can help in advocating for better policies and practices. 3. Support local businesses. By purchasing from local African businesses, individuals can help build the local economy and reduce reliance on exploitative foreign entities. 4. Volunteering. Offering your skills and time to non-profit organizations that work towards combating exploitation in Africa. This could range from legal aid to educational programs. 5. Advocacy. Advocate for fair trade and ethical practices in international trade. This can be getting involved in lobbying for policies that protect workers' rights and the environment. 6. Donations. Financial contributions to credible organizations that are working on the ground can make a real difference in combating exploitation and helping victims. 7. Use social media platforms to raise awareness and support campaigns against exploitation. Social media can be a powerful tool in mobilizing support and spreading information. 8. engaging with political processes to support leaders and policies that prioritize the well-being of African nations, and push for reforms that can lead to sustainable developments. 9. Cultural exchange too can help. Participate in exchange programs to better understand the challenges faced by African communities, and to foster mutual respect and understanding. By taking these actions, individuals can contribute to a global movement that seeks to address the systematic issues leading to exploitation in Africa. Education is a powerful tool in combating exploitation in Africa. Thank you for your time.